Hey friends, this is Holly from Hot Humble Pie, and today we are going to be making some really neat all year round, all season Dollar Tree DIY decor. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I'd love it if you hit that button. You're going to need two of these little house shapes from Dollar Tree, and of course I removed the sticker off the back. It comes off super easy with a blow dryer, and I'm showing you here, I cut this paint stick down the edge to get a perfect fit here because 4 paint sticks weren't quite enough for the width that I needed. So I'm using wood glue and a combination of hot glue, and I'm going to glue these on either end. Next, I'm going to take some white acrylic paint and just cover everything with white paint. This is going to be a white decor piece, so we're going to start painting the paint sticks, the little houses, the bottom, everything. And for those of you that are curious, this is apple barrel white paint, and it did fine just with one coat. I'm also going to take these paint sticks now and mark out the width of those houses, which was approximately 1/2 inch. And I ended up drawing on either side of the paint sticks, but looking back, I could have just done 1 inch on one end. That would have been a lot easier. So if you do this DIY, just cut off one end. Now you're going to grab your grill tray from the Dollar Tree, and you're going to go ahead and cut it out. I just cut off the ends immediately. See how there's like the little finished edge there? That didn't work so good for this DIY, so I did end up cutting off the finished edge, and I'm measuring it out for the sides here, and I'm going to make 2 of them. And you do need these little clamps. I was really picky about the measurements because I wanted this to look store-bought, so I clamped them together to get it perfect to measure out, and then I went ahead and cut again, so we have 2 perfectly even shapes. And this was also kind of tricky here. You just have to take your time. The first one doesn't matter so much because you're gluing it down. Then you're going to put it up against the side to make sure you get it just as high as you need it to be. And the problem that I was having here, which was very real, was the houses kept kind of going inwards. So I wasn't going to get an accurate measurement of how, this needed to be exactly glued in. So I just used an extra paint stick and shoved it in the center there just to hold it open. And that worked really good. I did have to trim that down to get it to do that, but it worked really good. And then for the second one, you do want an identical fit. So I went ahead and used lots of clamps in this DIY and lots of measuring to make sure that they were perfect and even. You want 2 duplicates on either side. And then I just took and glued them down. So see how that paint stick at the top is holding things open? And you do have to measure for that. Or you could use a skewer stick, you could use a dowel, anything just to hold it open, that would work. And of course, I'm cutting off the ends again here because now once I got it in, I decided I definitely didn't want the glue to be showing on the other side where it's unfinished. Even though I knew I'd probably put something in this, I thought, okay, I'm just probably going to do mason jars, or even if it's mail, I just wanted it to be finished off. So I went ahead and measured out, as you can see right there, the inside of it and covered the fencing on the inside as well. So next, I didn't think of this part until after I was done. I also didn't like the way the grill sheet looked on the edges. So again, it was 1/2 inch just to get it to fit. So I cut, I sanded, and I painted. You'll see where I put it in a minute. It will make more sense. It's like if you picture the grill in a frame. I missed the side frames right here. That's what I'm getting. But you do have to wait till you're done because as you're making it, you realize that the measurements are not identical everywhere. So I highly recommend that you make it in sections like I did. Just measure as you go to make sure that you're making it just right. See how I made that right there? That's what I'm filling in, these little sides. So those were not exactly identical on every single side because it's homemade maybe and the measurements weren't perfect, or maybe it was a Dollar Tree, I'm not sure. But either way, it wasn't perfect. So I'm using this cork sheet from the Dollar Tree, and that's what I'm going to put on the bottom because I don't want it to scratch at my table. And I just stuck it on the bottom. And that's pretty much it. I filled it with mason jars and flowers. Let me know what you think. I love this one. I am using this Easter round that I found at the Dollar Tree, and I'm showing you these cute little carrots that were on there. I'm saving those, but it had 4 staples in the back, and they were ridiculously difficult to get out. So I have this really cool staple remover. If you want to know which one it is, I can leave a link down below. Just let me know in the comments. And I'm using sisal rope. So I get my sisal rope at Walmart. I bought 3 or 4 of them at once, so I'm using it up, but I have crafted with sisal rope that was a little more expensive off of Amazon. And I will tell you, although they look the same, the one that's a little more expensive does not have as much hair, like the little grass pieces coming off, and it doesn't prick you as much. So I did get a nasty splinter from this, not this time. This time I actually was careful how hard I touched it. But on previous DIYs, I got a really bad splinter, and because it's really tiny, it was really hard to get off. And you do have to deal with a lot of hair. Here I am with my fire burning it off. So if you want to spend a little more money, you can get better quality sisal rope, but I love sisal rope. You can use nautical rope, twine, rope, whatever you like. I just love working with that because it's a very natural grass type looking. It reminds me of hay or something. I just love it. So now I'm cutting some lace. These were some lace panels that I found on Amazon. They were like 2 for $7.79, I think at the time. They were on sale. Definitely check out Amazon for lace because it's very expensive in the fabric stores. And that was just a cheap way to find it. Someone else told me they find really cheap lace at the thrift store, so you could always do that as well. So I'm aiming just to get a perfect rectangle, like banner type strip. And I'm cutting down the edges just to make it really even. And now I'm gluing it in the center to get my center. So this was more difficult than what I thought it was going to be because you kind of have to tug on it. So be patient. But I am trying to copy something I saw on Pinterest, except that when I looked at the picture again, I realized it was AI generated. So that's probably why it was so hard for me to copy it. But it's just like pulling the lace sideways like this. And then I did end up taking those little tails that were sticking out, bending it backwards because I wanted my lace to look thicker. And then I just pulled it in the reverse. So at first I pulled it, tied it, then I reversed it and pulled it the other direction so we'd have thicker lace. And now I'm just cutting the excess off in the back. And to be honest with you, I'm probably going to cover this with more sisal rope in the back. I just didn't have enough. I used almost all of it right there. So when I get a chance, I'm just gonna, I glued it down and I just kept twirling it, gluing it. You can see what I'm doing, but I'm gonna cover it up. So next, I just took these pretty roses and the boxwood and glued it on the front to kind of cover the knot. I thought that looked so pretty, but it seemed like it was kind of going upwards a little bit. So I did end up tacking down the sides just to hold the lace in place. This is gonna be for my front door. I thought it would make a really neat, like something different other than a wreath to put on the front door. And I felt like you just need to secure the lace so it doesn't move around because there's, I'll be closing the door and it'll be like moving with the door and I didn't want it to suddenly shift. So then I added another rose at the bottom and some more florals. And I did end up adding a little bit more greenery as well because I just felt like, it looked like, you guys see what I'm seeing? It kind of looked like it was top heavy there, but we're all done. And I absolutely love the way this came out. I think it makes a great decor piece. You'll see it on my front door here. Let me know what you think. For this DIY, I found this absolutely stunning gift bag at Dollar Tree. It's really big and I thought it would make a nice picture for the wall, so I grabbed 2 of the Dollar Tree signs as well. This one had some greenery on it and I plucked it off. I kept it and I'm going to use it for another DIY. Keep everything, you guys. And I'm just cutting this. I had good luck with a utility knife. I did do a combination of a utility knife and some really sharp scissors for sure. And, you know, these bags, the gift bags, are pretty thick, but I did go crooked on the side that I was actually working on, so I had to use the other side instead. So just take your time and do it slow. And then I had to remove the hearts on the back of that sign as well, which I thought they were metal, but they were actually cardboard with some kind of foil on them. I was so disappointed, but we're still going to save those because you never know. We'll use it for another DIY. So I just took some craft sticks to connect the 2 signs together. And then I'm going to shrink down this gift bag just a little bit at the top. It was just a little bit longer than I wanted it to be. And of course, we're going to have to cut down the boards from the Dollar Tree as well, because those are going to be too long. So I'm just using my little saw. And if you'd like information about the saw, just leave a comment down below and I will leave you information on how to get that. It's a great little saw, makes crafting a lot easier. I did have to use a utility knife for part of this board. For some reason, the saw wouldn't go through it. I don't know why. But you can always score these boards with a utility knife as well. That's all I want to share with you. You don't have to have the saw. So I'm using Mod Podge. I put a generous amount down and I discovered it didn't want to stick on the corners. So I did have to use some clamps to clamp them down on the corner and then let it dry. I found some of these wood stakes at Dollar General, but they also sell them at Walmart, and I use them for crafting. And of course, I try to get the straightest ones that I can find, but this is what I'm going to use for the frame. If you can't find the garden stakes, another idea is a fern strip from Home Depot or Lowe's. Those are very affordable, and they're about the same size of wood that you see at the Dollar Tree, the thicker like little strips that they sell. And I think you get like 8 feet for under $10. It used to be about $3. I think it's got up to 4 something, but it's a great deal. So I just started measuring, marking, and then I watered down some antique wax by Folk Art. I mixed it with a bit of black paint because the Folk Art brand is a little reddish, just a little bit, and I wasn't in the mood for it. Sometimes I am, but not today. So I just put a couple drops of black in there to get more like a dark walnut, I guess. Or it's kind of a warmer walnut. And then I used a combination of the wood glue and the hot glue to start gluing these strips down. And that's pretty much it. This one came up so cute. It was easy to do. I love the gift bags at Dollar Tree. They're fun to work with. Let me know what you think. For this next project, you're going to be gluing the craft sticks together to make a hexagon shape, and you're going to do it in a way where you can see how the craft sticks overlap each other, but at some point, 2 ends are on top of another craft stick. So you want the 2 ends to be on top because you're going to be gluing the other craft stick down on top of 2 even ends. If you don't have that even, they'll be lopsided. And obviously you have to keep all these really level and flush again, or it will be all wonky and crooked. So I ended up doing 14 rows of craft sticks, which is approximately 2.5 inches in depth. That's where we end up right here. And I'm showing you in slow motion now what I meant. See how I'm putting the dots on the 2 ends there that are above the craft stick? You have to look for those sections to put your craft sticks on so that they're nice and even. And this is what it looks like when we're all done. Next, I'm using one of those pans that you can find from the Dollar Tree. I think it's meant for like drippings. I don't know what this is called. Maybe it's called a dripping pan. but you need one of these, or you could use a different one if you find another design that you would like, but I just thought this would be fun to work with for the look that I'm going for. And I'm using my scissors to cut, but I usually wear gloves. I didn't do it today, but I want to show you how I'm really careful each time I cut upwards to bend that, it's like a heavy foil away from your hand so that you don't get cut, because that did happen to me once and it's unpleasant. But you're perfectly fine as long as you cut, bend away, cut, bend away. And I did use my wire cutters on the ends because, the little ridge around the edge of it, because that is a little thicker and more difficult to cut with regular scissors. Of course, I'm going to remove the sticker on the back of this. And now I'm going to take a permanent marker, you can use any marker, and just trace it out because we're going to be cutting it in the shape of our hexagon. The goal here is not to have any edges that might cut you sticking out over the wood. You want it to be on the wood, but just cut back enough where you don't ever come into contact with the edge. And you can also cover the edges with some masking tape if you want, or some other kind of tape just to protect yourself a little bit further. But that's what it looks like when we're all done. So I'm going to take these craft sticks, you can see what I'm doing here, and just put them all together. And I'm using more than enough because it has to be the width of the hexagon. And then I secured it with craft sticks at the top on purpose so that it wouldn't splinter at the end there, and it holds them all together. But also, obviously, if you put it up at the edge where you're going to cut, it will prevent it. It's better than masking tape, right? It's going to prevent it from fraying. So that's a great little trick that you can do. If you can do it, you can't always do that. And of course, I glued down the back of the metal onto the hexagon, and I'm just further reinforcing this because it's going to be the front. So I'm using plenty of hot glue here, and in case you haven't guessed, we are making a wall sconce, where we're going to be able to put little plants in, succulents, whatever you want, a hanging vine. Hanging succulents would be cute in this. And then we're going to trim off at the edge there using scissors. It was super easy to do. I chose to use a nail file to round the corners and then smooth and level out all the rest of it so that it looked nice and neat. And now I'm just using the watered down antique wax for stain. You can use whatever stain you want, and you'll also see me put some stain on the metal because that's my look. I don't like everything to look squeaky clean. This is a great look for industrial farmhouse or nautical, like a nautical bathroom. It would look so cute with some like long succulents hanging out of it. It would also work out really nice for boho or any kind of island look. This is actually very heavy when you hold it. It's nice and thick. It comes across very high end because it's wood, but considering what it's made out of, I think this came up so nice. Thank you, sweet friends, for all of you that have been here with me from the beginning and for watching my channel and supporting me, leaving comments. It really does help me here on YouTube. And as always, here's another one I think you might enjoy watching next.